Today we are watching a video titled "The B movie from Ken's perspective is tragically hilarious." Is that how I talk? The B movie from Ken's perspective is tragically hilarious. Hilarious. I'm delirious. Delusional? I ain't seen the B movie. I don't think I've ever seen it in its entirety. So I don't even know who Ken is.
The B movie is probably one of the strangest movies ever made, with its questionable messaging being that if you try to take back from the evil corporations in the world will end. So it's better to just let yourself be exploited so the world can keep on turning, I guess. But if you shift the perspective from the main character of the story,
Is that Ken?
and instead focus on the secondary villain, it becomes a story about watching your girlfriend get seduced by a bee that nearly destroys the world.
Yo,
But to
chill
understand
out.
this, let me just put you in his shoes. So
What?
imagine that you are Ken something, a normal, regular human in a normal, regular world. You love tennis and yoga, two things that you like to do with your girlfriend, Vanessa. You also have a multitude of special skills, and you kind of have a bit of a competitive streak. But hey, that's just who you are. One day, though, you're playing tennis with Vanessa, and you are absolutely smoking her. Just as you get to match point, you hear a cough, and you get thrown off your game. And, well, that was just weird, wasn't it? Anyway, the weather takes a turn for the worse, so you and your friends head back to Vanessa's, which is probably the most aggressively 2000s thing about this movie, that a single person can afford a flat like this in New York City without needing to share. But that's just normal. But what isn't normal is your new resume, a fold-out brochure that you are super proud of and you want to show to all your friends because it is an innovation in of itself.
Even my top 10 favorite movies.
What's your number one? Star Wars?
Nah, not go for that.
Maybe after all these years you could finally get a job. I mean, every time you have a wonderful interview and...
When I walk out of a job interview, they're flabbergasted. They can't believe the things I say.
Clearly, they just can't handle how magnificent you are. And I mean, you are literally the
So
guy
he's...
I predicted global warming. I could feel it getting hotter.
These scientists be damned. All they need to do...
So he's
is
delusional.
listen to you. Just as your friend is about to munch on his Cool Ranch flavored Doritos with guacamole dip, you see he's about to eat a bee. Of course, you and your friends are civilized creatures, so your immediate reaction is to kill the f***ing thing instantly, and there's only one way that you can do that.
Winter boots.
But just as you're about to win the day and kill the bee, Vanessa comes in and stops you, and I mean, like, that's weird, right? You're allergic to bees, she knows this, so it's either his life or yours. But okay,
What?
she thinks that a bee's life is worth the same as yours? Is that what she's implying, that you are the same worth as a literal insect? Well, she really doesn't think that hard.
Yo, yeah.
Oh, but apparently it's because she thinks all life has value, does it? Well, that's a normal sentiment. But she didn't have to rip up your brochure, May. And yes, that is a word that you just invented, because why the hell not? And I mean, if you weren't just simmering over the fact that she just ripped up your brochure, May, you would have seen her give the bee the bedroom eyes. Anyway, to make sure that your masculinity...
I'm sorry.
You would have seen her give the bee the bedroom eyes.
Did they just meet? Never look at no bee like that.
Masculinity stays intact. You tell your friends. You weren't scared. You just didn't want a puffy face.
Bye,
Vanessa next week, yogurt night.
Yeah, sure, Ken. You know, whatever.
She kicks you out. Straight up. Gets rid of you. Like, whatever. So you go do your stuff.
Wait.
And I mean, it's very
His girl kicked him out of the...
do that isn't tennis and job hunting and yoga. So a week goes by and you go to Vanessa's shop to have yogurt night.
Okay, she got her own shop.
Point of weakness.
But it was my grandmother, Ken.
And I mean, Vanessa just does not understand. You're a winner. Doesn't matter if they're 18 or 80. You're going to take advantage of any weakness they have and crush them.
81.
Honey, her backhand's a joke. I'm not gonna take advantage of that.
But that's when a bee says it's working. Like a talking bee, the same bee from before. And Vanessa is treating this like it's the most normal thing in the world.
Wait, what?
Hang on, not only does the bee talk, but she wants to help him sue the human race.
Oh, they're talking now. They're cool. So in this movie, humans know bees talk. Gotcha. See, that's a pretty important thing to know. I figured humans and bees couldn't communicate. Um, Unless she a bee whisperer. I don't know. What is this? Disney? This look kind of maybe Pixar. What's the other one? DreamWorks. Who made this movie? I think it's Disney. No. No. I don't know.
Race? Like, excuse me? Huh? And then she escorts you out of the shop. She wants to sacrifice yogurt night for a bee.
Oh, why is yogurt night so difficult?
So you walk home. Doesn't really seem like she
With
cares
your
about you
yogurt.
that much when you think
Yeah.
about it. It's like she's just using you for your body and discards you the morning after all when she has no use for you. And all you want to do is have a cute yogurt night and watch shit movies. It's a shame. All women think about is sex. But then one day you're strolling along and catch a TV on the sidewalk. You don't really watch the news unless it's something to do with Wimbledon because you think it's kind of cringe. But then you see that the bee is in the courtroom and they are actually suing the human race. But what you don't understand is why Vanessa is on the lawyer table
What?
with them, whatever that thing is called, I don't know. And not with the audience. Huh? She's not a lawyer, she's a goddamn florist. Why is she there? But anyway, she's still supporting this beat, and that's something going
That's-
on, isn't it? And
the-
you can smell it. And then they had the audacity to sue Sting for his name because it's offensive to them. Like, what? Like, okay, sure, why not? So you decide to go to Vanessa and get caught up in traffic. You were a bit late, but that's okay. She's probably waiting for you. But that's when you walk in at the two of them cheersing over a candlelit dinner and roses. Like, what the fuck?
Want all this to go to waste, so I called Barry. Luckily, he was free.
Uh-huh. You just happened to call the guy that you've been with for the last few days in the courtroom, and he just happened to be free. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, she is really giving him the bedroom lies.
Like, I'm sorry, but a really big thing for me is he's a bee. You know? Yeah, Ken is really what an intro to this movie. You know what I mean? Like if I was gonna start off, maybe I should have started by watching the movie, but I mean, hey,
And, like, what's next? Romantic flyovers? Honeymoon? You know what's going on here. This bee's trying to steal your girlfriend. And, like, this is the bee that's trying to sue your race. This bee is ruining your life.
she's helping him sue her. Hello?
So, I hear you're quite a tennis player. I'm not much for the game myself. I find the ball a little grabby.
So then they have the audacity to say that eating with chopsticks is not a special skill. Like, come on, man, eating with chopsticks is hard.
I let Barry borrow your razor for his buzz. I hope that was all right.
Oh,
And you just cannot have that. And Vanessa had let it slip a few days ago that the bee's weakness is Italian Vogue. And just luckily, Vanessa had that lying around after finding that fact out. So you try to run a little cheeky 1v1 with a little turd, but it barely goes the way that you're expecting.
something stinks in here.
I love the smell of flowers.
Turns out a bee is pretty nimble when you're trying to set it on fire, but then you fall into the shower and you get a genius idea. Bees hate water, so you spray the little bastard and it falls in the toilet.
Well, well, well. A royal flush.
But then it learns to surf a nail file and splashes you in the face with water. Like, bear in mind that together those things barely displace water, so how they manage to produce that level of a splash, you don't know. But now you have to question everything. A few days ago,
What
one
the
was not.
fuck?
You were showing Vanessa how great you are at tennis by ruthlessly
Yeah.
destroying her mum. And now there's a
Huh?
talking bee taking your girlfriend. I mean, at this point, you have to question whether or not, like, there's some kind of psychosis going on in the world. How is this normal? How are people just accepting a bee sue the human race?
No, yeah, that is.
Dirty
That's like
yellow
a-
race.
But that's when Vanessa comes in to save the bee, and she is taking his side, apparently. That's ridiculous. It's a bee. You are her boyfriend.
Fine. What are you talking about? Are there other bugs in your life?
No.
So you storm out, but not before you want to get your last word in.
I prefer sugar-free, artificial sweeteners made by man.
Yeah, they might give you cancer, and yeah, they could be worse for you than sugar, but hey, artificial sweeteners,
What?
they're the nuts. No wonder they're in just about everything. But you continue to watch the trial. You turn into a bit of a hate watcher. You watch this bee really doing its best to destroy everything. And they win from a literal smoking gun. Right. And I mean, it was close, all things considered, especially when the human lawyer got stung by one of the bee people.
What?
But they still won. Well, whatever, I guess. You didn't really like honey.
How
that
does a
much
bee
anyway,
accidentally
so-
sting somebody? Or was it a sacrifice? Like, I'm sorry? Like, is this Disney? Like that's not Winnie the Pooh. Like, that's not Pooh. Is that Poe? That's not him. But my thought process is, did Disney make this movie? Because if not, even though that's not him, we know that's Piglet. That don't look like Piglet. It's a little too fat. But, like, we know what's going on. So if Disney didn't make this movie, did they get sued too?
Take him out.
But then time passes.
They
and the
shot him.
flowers, They start to die, and you sort of revel in that
Yo.
fact because that bee took away Vanessa's livelihood. She definitely chose wrong. She could have had you and yogurt night, but now she gets bees and dead flowers. And I mean, like, what do they even talk about? Nectar, pollination techniques. How does that even work? How does the sex work? Does she
What?
use him like a bullet vibrator? How do they avoid? Oh, you know what?
Yo.
You don't want to think about that because that's not something you want to imagine. But then it gets worse. The flowers keep dying, and it looks like a world without bees is actually going to fall in on itself. But isn't this just like honeybees? Isn't there like a million of other species that also pollinate, like butterflies, hummingbirds, as well as a shitload of other insects?
Wait,
And
where-
they're going to die because one species said
Bees, all they do is make honey. That's like their whole thing. So they sued the humans to not work? So that's why everything's dying? But then what are they doing? You know?
they didn't want to
What's
do it
their...
anymore.
Oh,
Sure,
okay, they
I
do...
guess.
Oh, they
Why
be
not,
living
right?
it. Never
So then
mind.
you hear about the last ever flower show.
Wait,
and
hold on.
other
What they be
insects,
doing?
And the world is going to die because one species said they didn't want to do it anymore. Sure, I guess. Why not, right? So then you hear about the last ever flower show on the news, and I mean, well, that's just peachy, ain't it? The world is actually ending because your girlfriend caught feelings for a bee. How do you explain
Wow,
to someone
nice.
that she literally chose somebody with a shorter expiry date than a yogurt? But then you hear that the bees took the pollen from the flower show and pollinated the world. And I mean, this wasn't like a gradual thing. This was like some basically instant magical bee shit or something. And then literally they all turn back to normal the same day. And you walk past Vanessa's shop and you see the bee in there. He ruined your life. He almost ruined the planet. He nearly destroyed her job. And he got the girl in the end. And the cherry on top, the bees live a couple months. So she's going to end up alone probably in a week or two, running a shop that almost didn't exist because of that bug. Well, I guess that's justice served, I guess. Anyway, Vanessa, enjoy your bee lover. Meanwhile, you'll be thriving with your yogurt, your tennis racket, and, well, who are you kidding? You're going to be crying into your Chobani watching the Wimbledon highlights next week. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. I just
Hey! Go listen to the man. I don't think Ken deserves that. Maybe a little weird, but like I don't think he deserves. You know what I mean? Like that's man. Imagine that was you. I mean, I guess that's the point of this whole video. That throw you. That's a trip. That is a trip.